There's nothing that's going to interfere. There's nothing that's going to change. There's no variables caused by a computer. It's me in the car. And you don't get that anymore.
What is this? What is this dirty thing doing in my garage, man? How you doing, Winston?
Doing awesome.
So introduce yourself to the camera. Who are you?
I am Winston Goggins, and this is my driver quality 1985 Porsche 944.
I like these cars. I think they're really pretty.
Yeah, they're definitely one of the more.
I haven't seen one dirty though.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting, interesting. So let's go talk about it. Tell me all about the car.
Awesome.
What's up, Mason?
So, okay, tell me about your car. What year is your car?
It's a 1985.
1985, wow. So when did you get it?
I got it March 3rd of this year, 2019. The weekend before Amelia Island. I was really excited to have my Porsche, take it down to Works Union.
Didn't you drive it down there?
I did not. I drove all the way out to Alabama with a trailer to pick it up and take it to my 944 guy, Elliot Crafton, up in Blairsville, who's the 944 guy in Georgia, to have the belt done, because I knew it didn't have service circuits, so I knew I was going to have to get the belt service done.
Yeah.
But once he got it, I got the phone call the night before I was going to pick it up to drive it down to Amelia. He says, I got good news. It's got a limited slip differential. Bad news, your clutch is gone. And I was like, oh man, because that's like $2,000 of work.
The clutch is gone, but you had an LSD, so that's a win-lose situation.
Yeah, and the other thing he said is the fastest 944 he's driven. I was like, or the fastest naturally aspirated 944 he's driven.
Why is it the fastest one?
I don't know. It's just a really strong car. Another thing, it came apart really easy when he was doing the water pump and time belt service, and as well as the clutch. Everything came apart easy.
Maybe the car was raced before. You think?
Possibly. I don't know. I'd hope not.
I actually have another question for you, because this is just bugging my mind. Why is your car dirty?
Well, as I'm sure you're going to see with our B-roll footage, I like to slide the car around, and with 143 horsepower, I can't really slide the car on the asphalt unless it's super wet, and that's dangerous, endangering other people. So I take it to the dirt, and you really can feel the car slip. It really gives you a good feeling for the car. You can feel everything that's going on. As it starts to slide out, you can steer it with the throttle. It's just an amazing feeling of driving a car on dirt. You know, safaring cars is a big deal now. We've got Lee Keen.
Safari cars? What's that?
Well, safaring is like this lifting cars, putting them on like off-road tires, and you're throwing a bunch of light pods. You don't really need all that stuff. Sure, it looks great when you pull up to caffeine and octane and everyone wants to look at your car, but you don't need that. You don't need a bunch of light bars and meaty tires just to slide a car around in the dirt.
But you do it without this stuff, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I plan on doing some light safari style mods.
Wow.
My headlights are not the greatest, and I like to drive quite spiritedly at night. And
Spiritedly.
yeah.
I love those words.
Spiritedly. Not driving fast, officer. Sorry, I was driving a bit spiritedly.
That's funny as crap, man. So Porsches, man, it's really crazy to see a young guy. How old are you?
I'm 17. Bought the car.
17 with a Porsche. So tell me, you think it's a market for 17-year-olds to start Porsches, especially like 924s or old Boxsters? What do you think?
I think that Porsches are great cars. Stuff like the 944, the 924, the Boxster. In fact, me and my friend in high school, we both are the stupid idiots driving on Porsches, and we're starting to sell them. So
really,
coming April, look out for a P&P garage in Athens, Georgia.
P&P at 17? That's pretty crazy.
He's
starting his own Porsche selling business, is that right?
Yeah, we've got a
Wow.
997 in inventory right now. We're looking at getting a Cayman next week. Really, what we're looking at is we in 50 years, I don't want to be the only 17 or the only like 50-year-old guy driving around a Porsche. I want more people my age to get into Porsches, because I don't want to drive my Porsche alone. I want to have other enthusiasts be into Porsches then. And stuff like PCA isn't working. It's not getting people into Porsches. You go to like the PCA Porsche Platz at Petite Le Mans, and it's a snooze fest. It's a bunch of like Tiptronic 996 cabs with, they're absolutely mint and they're spotless, but there's no story behind them. You look at my car, it's got a story. I can tell you where every single rock chip is come from. There's a story behind it. My car's alive. It has its scars. It's like a, you know, a wrinkle from smiling.
Wow, that's really poetic, guys. Do you hear that? It's something I wasn't expecting. I brought you on this interview and stuff. I didn't expect this from you. Like I'm kind of shocked because you're right. I mean, if people our age do not start driving Porsches, do not get into this stuff. Because I mean, anybody getting in a Porsche, like you got into this car.
Yeah, and we're trying to help more people like us get more into Porsches because they're so amazing. They
really are.
Such an amazing sports car brand.
It's my favorite brand, one of my favorite brands for sure.
I mean,
and yeah, you're right. And like back to what I was saying is, in 50 years, if like not many people our age are driving Porsches they're just the legacy won't be carried on. It's very important for us to get into it.
Yeah, I don't want to be forced to hang out with VQ guys in their G35.
No.
I want to drive my vintage Porsche. It just sounds cool. Buy a vintage Porsche. You can say I drive a vintage Porsche.
Any vintage car is awesome. I think vintage cars.
They have more soul.
Yeah,
this car is alive.
Really
Every rattle tells me something's going on.
Yeah, like you, I also have a lot of experience with driving these vintage cars, man. They really do have a lot more soul to them, and you just like feel it. You feel the road more,
Yeah, and you
driving it.
And you have, you're lucky that you can hop from 48 Pista, one of the greatest modern cars, really, and then hop into a 36, and then hop into like a Countach. But me, I gotta kind of pick and choose. So I've also got a 61 Willys Jeep. So I have my own diversity. And it's always interesting when you hop into something, whether you're driving or riding in something like the 48 Pista, there's different things you can appreciate about every car. The Pista is holy fast. Feels really fast, but you're not really going that fast. I can red line shift into third, and then, I feel like I'm on the limit and everything, but really I'm well within the speed limit.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And they're not all, and the old cars are not on rails. They don't handle as well as new cars. It's just more fun. With my experience, it's just a more fun experience, Like I would take an old car over a new car any day.
Yeah.
Mark my words, I would. Right? Wouldn't you too?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, diversity is the spice of life. And
diversity is the spice of life.
The 944, it has perfect 50-50 weight distribution. It handles amazing. I know everything the car is going to do. There's no traction control. There's no ABS. There's no nannies or anything. So I know if I kick it, do a clutch kick, second gear, I know I can kick the back out, and I know exactly how to hold that slide. There's nothing that's going to interfere. There's nothing that's going to change. There's no variables caused by a computer. It's just me and the car. And you don't get that anymore. And
yeah, you really don't.
Yeah.
With these new cars, all the electronics, all electronic controls, you really do lose a lot of the soul of the car. Yeah. And you don't have to talk to the car. I guess I like to say, I'm sure you can agree with me, I'm sure you guys can agree with me who know, is that old cars, you really do have to talk to them. You speak to them. I think I said this to one of my friends last night, is that you really need to be talking to this car, and it's almost, the car becomes part of you. It's almost like you are the car, because you are really controlling every single thing about it, right?
Yeah, and not only do you have to talk to it, you have to take care of it. Yeah. You gotta watch that temperature gauge, because it will go up.
It will go up.
They will break.
They will break, yes,
but
they do.
The braking is part of it. I like to be able to work on my car. It gives you a better understanding of what's going on when you get under the hood and you're looking at all the, oh, dude, what is this? What is this? Oh, let me read on RIN list. Let me call my 944 guy and ask him what it is. And really, the 944s are such great platforms.
So Winston, what really got you into the 944 of all the Porsches you could have had? Why the 944?
Okay, so really, one of the first car shows I went to growing up was the Athens Cars and Coffee. It's a great show, small local car community. There's everything from 944s to Lancia Stratoses every now and again. So wow. I pull up, and as soon as I get in my car, there's an Audi R8. I'm like, oh, an Audi R8, whatever. Yeah. And then there's what Elliot likes to call his bass boat. And now it's been rewrapped, but it was wrapped in this crazy sparkly paint job. And I was like,
yeah, picture
oh my
that?
God. I can find one to put in the video.
Well, yeah, here he goes. Take a look,
And I
guys.
was like, holy shit, like, what is this? And I started looking around, I talked to him, and I was like, well, how much are these? And I was like, oh my God, I can afford this crazy, awesome Porsche, and it's got huge fender flares, and it has a hydraulic handbrake, and it's a vintage Porsche.
So, I have one final question, and maybe another after, we'll see. But my final question is, what got you into Porsche overall?
So, you know, it's a really great story, and it's a great story that shows how amazing the car community is. Once again, we're going to get back to Athens Cars and Coffee. There was a very nice gentleman there, the first Cars and Coffee, who had his 05 black over silver GT, and his name was David McClure. And I got to know David very, very well, and you know, I'd go to the shows and I'd see his car, and I'd always talk to him, you know, because he's this amazing guy, most humble guy you could ever meet. And you know, we exchanged info, and one day he called me and he says, you know, I'm gonna go to the Atlanta Concourse next weekend. Do you want to come? Because I hadn't really been to any major car shows. I was just going to Athens Cars and Coffee, and I was like, yeah. And he said, yeah, I'll probably bring my 930 turbo. And at this point, I didn't even know that David owned a 930 turbo. I didn't know like a quarter of the cars he owned until I went to his garage, because he was the humble guy, you know. So he picked me up at my house in the 930 turbo, and I rode in the back seat of the Atlanta Concourse. And as you're going along, you hear everything, because you're right next to the engine sitting in the back seat, and you hear from the turbo, and and it's an early Saturday morning, and I'm seeing the boost gauge, and there's just the hand of God pulling you back, and I'm like, because this is my first time in a Porsche, and not just any Porsche, the 930 turbo. And
Amazing car.
And this guy was a very good mentor to me, and he really, Elliot got me into the 944, but I wouldn't have been into Porsches, and I wouldn't have gone to 944 really if it wasn't for David, because he encouraged me to go into old cars, and he did a lot of stuff for the automotive community, getting a lot of people into cars.
All right, Winston, thanks, man. That was a good interview. Are we gonna go for a little ride?
Hell yeah, we're gonna go drive.
Let's
Maybe
do it.
Go find some gravel roads, pitch that bitch sideways.
Let's do some gravel roads at night. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video, and I hope you liked it. Our next video will be something awesome, so you definitely have to stay tuned, and have a good day, night, evening, or wherever you are. Bye!